Welcome to Channel Trading. Today I just want to go over as the channel or the timeline that we're working with is happening, right? So say at 3 o'clock, you're in England, London, or some other part of the world, you're awake at 3 o'clock Eastern time, and you're ready to trade. You see ES is going down, and it is showing, this is at 2:58, it's at 2 minutes before the open. And you see it is showing the signs of recovery there. But then, the 20 moving average is showing that it's really, the downturn is pretty strong. If you put a 100 moving average or 200 moving average, you are so far away from it that it might be time for mean reversion. There's so many confusions, right? Right now, you don't know whether you're going to go up, because some of them are saying you might go up, and some of the other strategies might be telling you that it might be going down. So this is a confusion that most of us are. And when you're in confusion, don't trade. And the whole point of the trading strategy with channels is it avoids that confusion to a great extent. Okay. So say, let's move to the point where you're beyond 3 o'clock now. And the first, this thing, the candle opens, you put a channel around it. The first thing that would happen here, if it was mean reverting, was that, or going back to either this moving average or 100 or 200 moving average or VWAP or whatever it is, it has to break above this to go, right? Hasn't done it. It didn't go. So the next candle never broke. So we just do nothing. We just sit around waiting. And then the immediate candle that came in completely wiped out everything. It closed below. It's very negative. So there is a very high probability that that you would have entered here, right? And this would have been a loss, right? Because the stop you would have put above this, above the channel. So this was a loss. But then again, immediately this whole thing, next candle closed, again, it wiped out the whole thing. Now, what would one do? Since this failed, you're thinking, if you're somewhat inexperienced or you're playing an emotional game, you're thinking, man, I lost it here. And I'm sure this is something, this is not a good thing to enter because it might be tricking me again. But what I'm saying is enter. Just blindly enter again. Okay. If it showed that it's wiping out the entire channel with one candle like this, you go for it. Okay. And then when it breaks below, you take this, and this is where you write it. And this loss that you incurred here could be recouped easily, and then you go from there. So the point was that if I was here just before the open, I'm thinking mean reversion, it's going long makes sense, but then looking at the 20, it makes sense to go short. So there's a lot of contradicting signals there. And what we're trying to do is, when you put a channel, you're putting a hard boundaries around where you want to trade and how you want to trade and where you want to get out if your thesis is wrong, right? So that's what this is doing. The channels are doing. So I just want to go over that today, and hopefully that was helpful.